Good morning. It's Monday morning. This is the day that the Monday holiday for Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. So, I didn't put my watch on. Let's see, it's about 6:30 in the morning, October 10th, 2022 on the East Coast of the United States. And I'm going to make some Costa Rica here, this is a 5.07 fluid ounce cup. I've got some milk that I've heated in the microwave. And, I was telling you a while back that some of you had asked about what books have I been reading, or in my case, frequently it's listening to. I love audio books. Did you love when you were a child to be read a story? Well, I still like having someone read to me. So I've really been enjoying audiobooks. I do read regular books too, but I probably listen to several audiobooks a week. So I was going to tell you one of my favorite genres is cozy mystery. So that is a subgenre of mystery or crime fiction. But the thing about it is any of the cussing, violence, gory stuff, and sex usually takes place, sort of off stage, so to speak. It's not described and mentioned. It doesn't happen in the book. And did I say no cussing also? Pretty much no cussing. So, and very often there is involved amateur detectives. Very often there's some comedy, light moments in it. It's not dark, heavy, serious. And also usually it's comforting. In the end, the good guys win and the bad guys get their, just desserts. And, they're just, usually, very often there's a series of books so that you get to know the characters, and the characters are developed through the book. So, here we go. Some Costa Rica with milk. Let me just give a little stir in here and a little taste. So, by the way, when you mix, the coffee, of course, has a crema, and when it's going into that milk, which is why I like to make it a cafe reverso, making the coffee into the milk rather than adding the milk afterwards, you get a sort of a creamy layer of froth on top. Yeah, not as much as if you had frothed the milk in a milk frother or used a steamer, but still, you can see you get a nice layer of froth. Let me give it a taste and I'll finish telling you what I was going to tell you. That's very good. So, recently, there are a lot of different cozy mystery authors that I enjoy, but a series that I have been reading recently is by Simon Brett, B-R-E-T-T. He's a British writer, and it's called The Feathering Village Mysteries. That's F-E-T-H-E-R-I-N-G, Feathering Village Mysteries. And it is about two women in their 50s who moved to this village, kind of to retire, more or less. And it's in the south of England. It's where a river lets out into the English Channel, and this figures into some of the stories too. It's a tidal river, if that makes any difference to any of y'all. And one of the women is a, sort of hippy-dippy kind of lady. She's a healer. you know, the kind of healer where she doesn't touch you, she puts her hands over you and channels her energy or something. There's no spiritualism or anything like that in the book. This is her profession, and there's no ooh kind of you know, it's just straightforward. This is what she does. The other woman is a very middle class woman who used to work in the Home Office in Great Britain, I guess in London, and she's very straight-laced and, you know, the type that's always concerned about what other people think of her. Like, she has a laptop computer, but she only uses it in her computer room. The idea of using the computer outside of the computer room, even though it's a laptop and made to be portable, nope, you know, just in the computer room. And the two of these become their neighbors, and they couldn't be more different in their personalities. Did I say they're both in their early 50s? And basically the kinds of things that happen are they get thrown into these situations where it seems like maybe somebody who died was actually murdered. And maybe they feel like the police are just not going to bother with really looking into it, or the police are not giving it proper attention, or they realize that they're not constrained by the same things that the police are, so they can be more free to investigate. And as you might imagine, sometimes they get into big trouble doing this, sometimes life-threatening trouble. But in the end, you know, everything turns out right. And it's the process of how they do things and their relationship, because they are so different. And they will sometimes be dealing with the same people, but the way each woman approaches how she deals with that person is very different, sometimes comical. I found that I personally have been very interested because I see aspects of myself in both women. So I don't know if everybody does this. Like when I read a book or see a movie, I always use it as a jumping off place to kind of think more about myself and, you know, what can I learn, or how does this relate to me, or what maybe should I think more about my own life in this. I don't know. I'm probably just a serious person. And, you know, not only do I get enjoyment out of these books, but I want to learn something. And so when I look at the different characters, I think, oh, well, how would I have handled that situation? Would I have done it more like Jude, the healer, or Carol, the straight-laced, you know, office person? That makes it more fun for me and more interesting. And I do, you know, I learn stuff. There are some things I've read in the book and I thought, wow, you know, I did that a lot in the past. Do I still do that now? Because looking at it now in another person's life, even though they're a fictional character, I don't know if that's really the best way to handle it. I think it might be better to do. Anyway, that's just how I think about things. Do any of y'all think about stuff like that when you read a book? You know, a fictional book? Anyway, so Simon Brett, the author, is also known for writing the Mrs. Pargeter mysteries, Charles Paris, is it Blotto and Winks? Something like that. And some other cozy mysteries. I can't remember the others, but he's written dozens and dozens of books, and he's written for radio and TV also. These books, the audio books, the first few are narrated by some narrator, but then after the first few books, Simon Brett starts doing the narration himself, and it is so good because he's an excellent narrator, and he knows, because he created the characters, how things, how they should sound and how they should react. So it's like someone who was there, who was involved, telling you the story. And he's he's a very talented narrator and narrates his own writing just beautifully. So anyhow, that's the Feathering Village Mysteries, Fether. There's no A in there, by Simon Brett. So there's, I don't know, maybe 30 books, or there's a lot of books, at least a couple of dozen. And I have found them very, very enjoyable. One or two, I didn't like that much, but most of them have been great. So that's one of the authors I've been reading lately. Do any of y'all like cozy mysteries like I do? So, now I don't like silly ones like where dogs solve mysteries or things like that. But these are, they're challenging. You think, oh my gosh, who did this? Who done it? They're very good whodunits. Good storylines and all of them. Oh, and one other thing. Simon Brett is very talented, I feel, in writing descriptions of the setting, the scenery. He has turns of phrase when the various characters are talking that just make it so much more enjoyable, I feel like. Has anyone else read any of the Feathering Village Mysteries? If not, if you do, go ahead and read them. Let me know what you think. Anyway, have a good day. I'm hoping to go to Silver Sneakers later. And God bless you.